Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a quick review of the new Lancome Miracle Cushion Foundation. I figured I would do a video review rather than typing it out. Sometimes it's just easier. So here it is. Here is the Cushion Foundation from Lancome. I have it in the shade 140 Ivory N. And if you're not familiar with cushion foundations, they're very popular. They kind of originated in the Korean beauty market and became very, very popular over there, and they're kind of slowly migrating over here. Full disclosure, I have not tried any other cushion foundations. So that may, take it for what you will. I haven't, so I wanted to let you guys know, so in case you guys want to ask me, like, how does it compare to this, then I don't know. But I'm definitely interested to try them after trying this. And when I first received this, I always like to kind of go to, I know you shouldn't always read the reviews, but I do. I like to read the reviews on Sephora or Nordstrom or Saks because I find that I just like to kind of get a gauge of what people are saying. And that way I can begin to I don't let it sway me one way or another, but I just like to know. And the reviews were all over the place about this foundation. Some people loved it, some people were like, awful. So I was really curious to kind of give it a try. And it definitely I had some growing pains with it, and I'll explain to you what those were. But the good thing was I was able to work through those growing pains and then come out the other side, and I ended up loving the foundation. Thought it was absolutely amazing, but there are some different ways that I find that are necessary when working with the different products that I should use. It is a sheer to medium foundation, though I can build it up if I want to. It won't ever be full coverage. It's a very dewy foundation, and it does not even settle down to like natural. On me, and I have oily skin, it definitely wore very, very dewy. So I have to use this with a mattifying primer or a mattifying powder. And that being said, it continues to stay dewy as the day wore on. So it wasn't like I just kind of set it with the powder and then I was like good to go. I did have to touch up throughout the day. At first I was like, I don't know if I really like that. But here's why it didn't bother me. Typically with a lot of foundations, as I get dewy throughout the day, I don't have a ton of separation, not enough for me to be like, oh my gosh, it's disappearing on my nose or on my forehead. But I do see slight separation around my nose, chin, and forehead on a lot of foundations. Just slight, never enough to really make a mention, let's say, of in a blog post and be like, this separates, because I find that it's not really separating, but there's just a slight bit. And sometimes when I even apply my pressed powder or my touch-up powder, I'll see a little bit of movement too. So, which is frustrating on some of my foundations, but I overall like the way they wear or the finish or whatnot, or their longevity, so it doesn't really bother me, and just kind of one of the challenges of having oily skin. Okay, this foundation, I wore it like 10, 12 hours, and though I would get shiny over and over again, the coverage on my shiniest areas never moved. Didn't separate, didn't kind of shear out. It looked exactly as it did 7:30 in the morning when I was applying it. It was like miraculous. I kept staring in the mirror at work and I was like, how is it still so perfect? Even with the shine, it stayed so perfect on my skin, and I would touch it with powder, nothing. It didn't budge. It was really surprising because I was kind of like, oh, this is being too shiny. Next thing I know, even though I had kind of a shininess to it, I would apply the powder and my foundation still looked so smooth and as if I just applied it 10 hours later. Now, I know some people maybe use the little spongy thing that it comes with and kind of maybe press it into the skin. I didn't find that worked for me. I like a foundation brush. I am using this Bare Minerals blush brush. Whatever, I like it. I like the way it's shaped at the top. So I like to use this and I just kind of dab it in there and I just kind of buff it into the skin. Or I use a Real Techniques buff and brush. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. something like this. Oh, this one's from It Cosmetics, but you know, something fluffy like that. Where's my It? Oh, there it is. And that's how I found that I like it applied best. I don't really use the spongy thing, but yeah. So those are my thoughts. I think it is definitely a must-have for dry skin. I think on dry skin it's going to be beautiful. If you have oily skin, do know that you're going to need a primer or a mattifier or a touch-up powder throughout the day, but it does not move. So you may be shiny throughout the day, but there will be no separation and no nothing. And I tested it day after day after day. Some days were humid, some days were nice and breezy. So I really wanted to get a good sense, and it was the same every single day. So for that, I absolutely love it and have been wearing it consistently. I love also that the shade range is quite substantial. I'm actually not the lightest shade in this, which is a first for me. Typically I'm the lightest shade in most foundations. So I like that it has quite a good range of shades, so you definitely will be able to find your shade. It goes very fair and it goes quite dark. So I definitely think that's a great thing. Some foundations, like I've always said before, just gonna stay in the middle. It doesn't work. And that's it. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. And if you have any other questions or if you used it, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will talk to everyone soon. All right, take care. Bye-bye.